And joining us now to talk more about how the virus is affecting the economy is financial expert Dan Celia. Dan, the Senate is having a hard time passing this economic response bill. What do you think should be the government's priorities to strengthen the economy?
The government's priority, Mark, has to be getting this aid bill passed as quickly as possible. And it's going to have to be big. It cannot be cut. It cannot be reduced. I know that there are politicians that don't want to let this go to waste. They can't fathom having $1 trillion worth of a bill being passed without, taking care of their own interests, sadly to say. And it's got to get done today. It's not going to, I don't think, but it's got to get done today. It's got to get done as quickly as we possibly can. We need to bring aid to American corporations.
Dan, the Federal Reserve is promising to basically put as much money into the economy as necessary and start lending to small businesses. How much will the Fed be able to help?
The Fed is going to help an enormous amount of stimulus from a stimulus perspective. They're probably going to end up putting $3 to $4 trillion easily into this when it's all said and done. Keep in mind, Mark, it is much more of a balance sheet transaction, which I don't like very much, but it is going to be an interesting thing to watch. But they have to because of liquidity. We've got to keep money flowing through the financial system. That's the Fed's job, and they need to infuse these dollars in dramatic fashion so that free cash flow and can move through the financial system, equity move and liquidity move through the financial sector.
There are predictions of a 20 or even 30% unemployment rate and the worst economy since the 1930s, at least in April through June. Is that realistic, Dan?
Yeah, it's realistic, Mark, as sad as it is to say. We could easily see 20% is what I've been saying, but it could go a lot higher. It really depends on how prolonged this is, but we could see 20 to 30%. But let me just emphasize, it's going to be short-lived. It's not, I feel very bad for all of those, including some Fed presidents that are comparing this to 2008. This is nothing like 2008. So I think that we've got to keep things in perspective. We could see a 30% unemployment rate, and literally in 4 months, it could be back down to, 7 or 8% or something very manageable.
All right, Dan Celia with financial issues. Thank you, Dan. Thanks for your insights. We appreciate it as always.
You're welcome, Mark. Thanks for having me.